Hello, everybody. How is everybody doing? I hope y'all are well. Y'all already know the drill around these parts. If you could pretty please drop a number one off in the comment section so that I know that you can hear me. And then we will continue on. I hope everybody is having a lovely Saturday evening. I'm still at the pretend cabin behind me. Hello, Brandon. We got a number one. I appreciate it. Hey, Tracy. Hey, Tux. Hey, Christine. Hello, my lovely Emily. Y'all, welcome Miss Emily to the stage, to the sofa. She is known for holding the sofa down and keeping the foot cushions fluffed, and we love her for it. Sorry, the boys were they've just started. If you follow me on Instagram, you know that I just posted a picture of them sleeping, and I was like, oh, everything's so peaceful here, but they'll start the second I go live. 100%. Right there. There you go. But it's all good. I love it. Hey, Sandy. How's it going? Hey, Kimberly. Hey, Ohio. Hey, Sarah. Hey, Holly. Melody. What's up? Hey, Gretchen. I hope everyone's having a good Saturday. Y'all, I don't know about y'all, but we're all, when I say we're all, like kind of the South is bracing for major winter weather this week. Also, if you're on TikTok, we're kind of sitting here waiting to see what happens at 11:59 p.m. It looks like it is going bye-bye. So we shall see. I don't know, how that's going to happen. I just started pardon me, hanging out on there, if you will, making content literally a couple of weeks ago, but I've been like lingering for years on there, or you know what I'm saying? Like not years, but a while. Hey, Linus, how's it going? Hey, Mad. Hey, Brenda. Hey, Sarah. Hey, Montana. Hey, Emberry. I hope everyone's just doing wonderful out there. Hey, Ray's Jungle. 8 inches of snow. So we haven't got something like that in Lord since I was a kid, probably here in North Carolina. I'm in Alabama, Pleasant, Winchell. Woo, I know that's cool for you there. Hey, Gray Nut. So what we're doing tonight, y'all, is we are continuing on with the Blake Lively Hamster, Blake Lively lawsuit. We got to about page 25 last night. Basically, we'll go to my body rejects it. My body will reject it within the first paragraph of reading because it's, past my bedtime kind of a thing. But like, we'll get another chunk of it done, right? I've really been like letting it sink in. And just the stuff that we're reading, and I hear it gets worse. So, and of course, like now with this kind of trending, you're seeing more content pop up in your algorithm, whether it be on, TikTok or Instagram or wherever, right, of her interviews and, that kind of stuff. So I was explaining it to Matt because he was like a big Deadpool fan, still is. But I was just like, yeah, apparently Ryan Reynolds is not really a great person in this context. Now, of course, keep this in mind. This is alleged. This is just their lawsuit, their side of the story. So, but the thing is that we're seeing the text messages with receipts and whatnot, right? So, I mean, we're just going to have to say, let me go over here real quick. Hey, Emily. I hope you're doing well, my lovely. So this is actually pretend. This isn't real. It's a green screen. See how it's see when I do my hand, how it's weird. So I'm at home. That's what I'm doing. So I wish it was real. Look at how cozy that looks. Isn't that cute? That's why I have it. It just makes me feel like I'm like in the Alaska or something like that. Hey, I appreciate y'all hanging out, Sandy. It's been fun going live and coming over here and doing this. This kind of stuff right here is fun for me, especially to read through it because I want to. I shouldn't say that. It depends. But it makes me do it. You know what I'm saying? And I want to read it. So yeah. So let me get my thing up here on the screen. Where'd we go? Let's do it like that. What I'm going to do is, where'd we go? Let me find the screen. I know it is here. There it is. Okay. We're going to start at 43. That's where we left off last night. So here we go. And we're just going to keep going out, stop and talk along the way and, tell the boys to quiet down and All the stuff, all the stuff. So number 43, difficult proved to be a gross understatement. Well, let me catch a few people weren't here last night. So this is the Blake Lively lawsuit. This is from Justin. Basically, what we've gotten into is we're seeing that she's been difficult, that Ryan Reynolds and Taylor Swift are kind of helping her do stuff, like to the script. And she wanted to, be in control of her wardrobe, and she's starting in on the trying to take control of the movie. So that's kind of where we're at. It's just more like, say, annoying petty work drama. We haven't got into hardcore, like the major allegations and whatnot. I mean, they are just yelling at each other. Luke, Luke. It just absolutely runs all over Luke when Bo gets a toy. They play this weird little psychological thing. Hey, Dwayne, how's it going? They play this weird psychological game with each other. Luke, hush, honey. I know. Hold on. Matt, will you come get them? Hold on, Matt's coming to get them. Bo has the green alien toy, and he's just sitting there nonchalantly playing with it like, I don't know what you could be barking at. And it just ticks Luke off, right? Now, when the tables are reversed, Bo, who rarely barks, will do the same thing. But Bo has more of a desperation to his bark or whatever. Like oh my gosh, he has my toy. Like he's like really upset by it kind of a vibe. So you can totally tell Bo's bark like makes you stop what you're doing because you're like, does Luke have a toy or is he dying? Right? It's like the same kind of drama. Whereas Luke's more just a yappy Yorkie, just like, oh, you got my toy. You know. So okay. They both have a toy for now, but we'll see. Okay, so let's come back over here. Sorry about that. Yeah, they're from the same litter, Lynette, but completely different personalities, completely different coats. I mean, you can tell they have the same colors and stuff like that, but like, I mean, you would not know by behavior that they're from the same litter, at all. So Bo is more alpha, more whatever. His fur, unfortunately, is like fur. And so we're gonna have to take the Clippers to it probably tomorrow. Luke has Yorkie, silky hair. Hold on, Luke. No, Matt. Will you separate them? Put him in his cage with some peanut butter or something. Okay. I said, Matt, will you separate them? Put Luke in the cage with some peanut butter or something. I mean, come on. Yeah, Jenny, they totally started showing signs of littermate syndrome. Like in the context of um I don't know how to say it. Like the Luke would live through Bo. So if they were in a situation of I don't know, like exploring something new or whatever, Luke would like not interact and wait to see what Bo did. You see what I'm saying? That kind of dependency. So that's when the trainer came in and whatnot. So we would not separate them. Oh, they did get separated a lot when they were younger to avoid that kind of thing. And they would spend different times like at Matt's with his dogs. Then one would stay over here with me, take them separately, place all that. So they kind of get that confidence level up. Now they've leveled out to where they just play. And there's two other dogs here too that play and whatnot. And the other two dogs kind of balance that out because yeah, I'm talking like major puppy issues when they were young. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. They also had the taken away from the mother too early syndrome because the mother had issues, and basically stopped, like uh feeding them and whatnot. And I think that the owner was like, okay, well, they're eating regular dog food, they can go. because she was like having hand beat him around the clock or whatever. And so they have behavioral issues, but the trainer definitely worked with that, and they're very smart and eager. So yeah, they've leveled out, but it's definitely, these are the toughest, say, puppies I've ever had, meaning like, puppy zone time or whatever. But I knew that I was getting two of them, right? So, anyways, okay, they've quieted down now, so let's try again. I'm sorry. Yeah, they were weaned too early. I mean, they were eating on their own and doing that kind of stuff. But definitely it was like there was something up where I was like, why is she wanting to get rid of him at this point, the owner? And then I was like, oh, the mom had stopped feeding them. The mom, meaning the doggy mom, she wasn't doing like the behavioral stuff that dog moms do and whatnot. I think she was just over the litter. So when they came to us, it was like we had to teach them like doggy manners, if you will, of like, hey, that's playing too hard. It was crazy. If you followed me for the whole thing, but they're about 6 months old now. So yeah. So they're coming along. So, okay, I'm going to go back to the thing now and read for a second. And then that will probably entice him to start barking again. Right, there we go. Okay, so difficult proved to be a gross understatement. Though Baldoni initially invited Lively to make changes to the script, Lively began altering the script daily. The frequency of Lively's revisions alarmed the producers, director, and studio, who anticipated that her interference would persist every day of the shoot and disrupt the carefully planned production schedule. Each shooting day was intricately scheduled long in advance, and Lively's constant changes placed significant stress on the production crew, not to mention financial strain on Wayfarer. Now, Wayfarer is like who financed the movie, if you're just new to this. So then here's some of the stuff, the text. Producer, are you listening to this? She's fixing the script. I think Angie's advice was actually wrong. Blake is now directing the movie. This is bad. And then it says, Jenny, wait, let me make this bigger. Jamie Heat, I'm listening, talking through it better than not, seeing what's possible, as long as any decision is done with approval. Producer, not for something that was already intimately planned. This will be every day of the shoot. Jamie, I know, I'm not sure what could be done, honestly, at this point in terms of, and then it kind of goes blank. Now, remember, she is married to Ryan Reynolds. This is a major powerhouse. And I guess she's really good friends with Taylor Swift. Okay, so more than a year later, during a red carpet interview at the New York film premiere, Lively stated, the iconic rooftop scene, my husband actually wrote it. Nobody knows that, but this startling revelation directly contradicted Lively's previous insistence that she had written the scene, and certainly cast Reynolds' high praise for the rewritten scene in a different light. The film's credit screenwriter, when asked about the claim that Reynolds had written the scene, graciously responded, so if I'm being told that Ryan wrote that, then great, how wonderful, she went on to acknowledge. There were a few little flourishes that I did not write, and if those flourishes came from Ryan, I think that's wonderful. This is also the first time that plaintiffs learned that Reynolds, who had no formal role whatsoever in the film's production, had made unauthorized changes to the script in secret. Baldoni, equally blindsided by this news, which he discovered in real time during a recorded interview with Access Hollywood, reacted by also praising Reynolds so as not to harm Lively. Reynolds, who apparently wrote the scene and possibly others during the WGA strike or the film. Okay, so this is making more sense. Let's pause for a second. So if you've heard this, or if you were reading, with us last night or whatever, allegedly he shows up over at their house. So it's Blake, Ryan, and Taylor Swift. And basically when Ryan opens the door, he's talking about, oh my God, wait till you read this opening scene. Blake really did a number on it. Yeah. And Taylor's like, oh my God, okay, girl, you've got to look at this opening scene. Blake's really outdone herself. So then it makes it seem like even like super cheesy, if this is all true, of course, right? That like Ryan was gassing up his own thing, right? Now, one thing that's been interesting for me to learn is how particular this is, because I'm just like, I get if somebody wrote something, you're talking about the ego level, but the way that they act, like well, this has to go through this and get approved for this, and then these people do this, and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, my God, this is so complicated. But also, if you remember when the Writers Guild went on strike and that whole thing, it would have been very bad to learn that Ryan had done something like, or anyone, if that matter, crossed the line or whatever you call it during this time, right? So, there's that. Oh, bye, Dwayne. Have a good evening. Enjoy watching them. Thanks for stopping in to say hey. So that's the context here. Let's keep going. Okay. Okay, here we go. And let's scroll down. 45. Lively's remarks about Reynolds' purported contribution to the script raised eyebrows sky high at Honey, who told Wayfarer that they certainly needed some clarity on public comments made about Ryan Reynolds potentially contributing writing services for the rooftop scene. Okay, now here's an email. Sony Legal Affairs. Subject, it ends with us. Wait for counsel. Hi, blank. We certainly need some clarity on public comments made about Ryan Reynolds potentially contributing writing services for the rooftop scene. Can you provide additional information on this? As there are no contracts. His services are not in the chain, nor is his name anywhere in the credits. One of the many media reports which cite this claim made by Blake Lively. Thanks for clarifying. If services were rendered, obviously we require signed documentation immediately. Interesting. And this says, hello, your email shared with me by blank in order to address this issue. We are not aware of any writing services rendered by Ryan Reynolds. Regardless of what is being said publicly, this is not something we are aware of. We are learning about these allegations in real time. Please let me know if you have any questions. Okay, now down to 46. Still during the pre-production phase, Lively and Reynolds raised entirely false allegations of fat shaming against Baldoni, an accusation that, as evidence will show, was categorically false. Baldoni had been introduced to trainer Don, who became Baldoni's personal trainer by Lively. Okay, wait, let me read that again. Baldoni had been introduced to trainer Don, who became Baldoni's personal trainer by Lively. Okay, so Blake introduced them together. Okay. Don directed Baldoni's preparation for the film role, including his nutrition and exercise, making special accommodations for Baldoni's back injury. Baldoni even paid to receive Don's meal delivery service. Here we go. Okay, speak later today. I can get you a program this week, dude. Sure, just got to New York City for the day. Hey, bud, tried ya. Call you in a few. Cool, standing by. The program. Here you go. Well, let me go back up. Here you go. 4 things. The jumps are to be low intensity. Now, y'all better take this is some $1 million stuff right here now. Better take some notes right here. The jumps are to be low intensity, and this is to improve performance. Go 50% intensity for the first few weeks. Let's sub the dead stop rows for chest supported rows. Stay out of lumbar extension. Your lower back should not arch. Week 1 should be 70 to 80% intensity. Do not push and add the cardio like we discussed. Let's jump on a call after your review. Amazing. Can't wait to check it out. Thank you. Privately, Baldoni reached out to Don as his personal trainer to ask what Lively weighed so that he could train his back muscles in preparation for a lift scene. Okay, now this part sounds, okay, we'll get back to that. This is important to avoid injury not only to Baldoni, who suffered from lifelong back injuries, multiple bulging disc, and chronic pain, but also to Lively if the lift could not be completed successfully and safely. Notwithstanding Lively's recent attempts to deny the existence of any such scene, it was only nixed at her existence after having been planned and rehearsed. That seems kind of odd. I don't know. I just feel like, I don't think that his fat should like what he's doing or whatever, but it's also kind of like, well, it's not going to be that big of a problem. Just get like a double or something. You know what I'm saying? I don't see why. They're throwing money left and right, this, that, and the other. Anyway, let's keep going. The next morning, Baldoni was summoned to the penthouse by Lively and greeted by Reynolds, who swore at Baldoni and accused him of fat shaming his wife. How dare you effing ask about my wife's weight, bro? What's wrong with you, dude? The confrontation from Reynolds and Lively was so aggressive that Baldoni felt he had no choice but to offer repeated and completely unwarranted apologies for what was a good faith and reasonable question to ask of his trainer. Reynolds demanded and I guess I'm asking this, why did the trainer say that? Why did the trainer tell him? I'd be side-eyeing the trainer, and at this point, You can tell that everybody is kissing Blake and Ryan's butts, and of those two, if you were to say who's the powerhouse celebrity, I would say Ryan. So this is just, again, look at Ruby and Jody. Power unchecked. They create their own little world. They don't want to be questioned. They want to rule the roost. We've seen it before. We've seen it before, right? Yeah, Sandy says diva drama, literally, right? 100%, right? Okay, let's keep going. Okay. Okay. Reynolds demanded Baldoni remove the scene entirely. Lively refused to perform the lift scene in the end, even after it was rehearsed with a stunt double. In her own complaint, Lively flat out lies about the absence of the scene by claiming the scene wasn't in the film. The only reason the scene wasn't in the film is because Lively and Reynolds ensured it was taken out of the film. Accommodating Lively, Baldoni rewrote the scene with Lively, despite the fact that for creative reasons, this scene was important to him as a storyteller and director. 50. In fact, Lively had earlier expressed insecurity about her postpartum figure, and Baldoni made every attempt to genuinely reassure her. In this exchange, he stated as her director that anything you feel insecure about, we will talk through and get creative together and make you comfortable. I just don't want you to stress about your body. It's the last thing you need. When he later tried to do just that, Lively responded with allegations of harassment, followed by a lawsuit. Okay, here we go. Kicking ass, but it's still a ton of work with not a ton of time. What's the chance we can do body scenes at the end of the schedule? I'm sure you are. Honestly, there's 1 billion moving parts to schedule right now. I just turned in the rewrite, so they are hard at work. So much of it comes down to locations and the other cast availability, etc. So to be really honest, I have no clue. I want you to know you will look amazing. Anything you're insecure about, we will talk through and get creative together and make you comfortable. I just don't want you to stress about your body. It's the last thing you need. As soon as I have a rough schedule that's even remotely accurate, I'll share and I'll make sure the team keeps this in mind as well. Okay, then Blake, thank you for your voice memo. It is deeply, and y'all, I'm sorry, the way that these people text, I've never seen anything like this. The way that I mistype stuff and all that, I would be there for this. Would take me days to do. This would take me days to do. Okay. I mean, this is crazy. Okay. Thank you for your voice memo. It's deeply appreciated. You are everything you promised to be as a collaborator. Thank you. I know my job here. And this piece is in and this piece is in big part my job here. What? And this piece is in big part my job here. We both understand the assignment as actors in the roles, but also as producers, as marketers. We understand artistically, yes, but we get what we need to do in all aspects for this movie commercially. As woke as we both are and work to be, this movie requires, I can't believe she said that. That's so funny. This movie requires a certain aesthetic. It's a part of the job that we both excitedly signed up for. I don't shy away from it because it's not problematic. It's an assignment. Like when someone is about to start an athletic event, it's like their job to be in top shape, right? My husband and I both look at certain roles as athletic events, okay? Like totally. And this is one of them. It's not always a part of the job, but on this one, oh yeah, it is, okay? And that's great. As much as I'd love to not think about it, that would be irresponsible and also impossible because it's unrealistic to not acknowledge what I need to do. Oh my, okay. This is my job here, and I meet my responsibilities with extreme work ethic. I look for solutions to achieve my high goals instead of lowering my goals. We all win when we're each firing at our highest capabilities, and you and I both are, and will continue to. I just need as much time as possible because I just had my fourth baby. I understand that you'll never personally know all the nuances of the challenges unless you live this physical moment in time I'm in with this physical road ahead. So having your understanding and support to help me pull this off is critical and very, very appreciated. Not just in my experience now, but also healing from experiences past. So thank you. We're going to kill it and be so fit they have to Lola us to look less banging. Yeah, I literally want to throw up. Okay. The self importance of these two, of these three, of these four, if you throw Taylor in there, I cannot, y'all. All of them. Literally, at this point, all of them. It's like, these people are exhausting, okay? Oh, hey, Andy girl, how's it going? No worries that you're late. It's cool. You're on time. You're on time. You're all good. We're just hanging out. Kind of like, reading these nauseating text messages now. So here you go. Okay. These people are exhausting, right? I mean, just a text message alone. And somebody said up here, like, I would respond to a text message with that, okay? Literally, right? Again, it's like the self-importance of them all. It's like, okay, great. I think that stories are meant to be told and they're great and all that kind of stuff, but like, this is really extra. Really extra. I know Christine says, can you imagine her personality as a mother? She's probably as bad as Ruby. I mean, seriously. Hey, LA, how's it going? Okay, let's keep going. These are getting juicy. Okay. Live then delivered an ultimatum. If Baldoni could not get on board with her work methods, he had 2 weeks to recast her. How do we go from A to B? If you read the text messages with their narcissistic ramblings, and then we go over, it's just, this would give me a nervous breakdown. Okay, here we go. So 52. Implicit in this ultimatum was a threat to destroy Baldoni's reputation and career. As Lively well knew, Baldoni had worked hard throughout his career to earn and deserve a reputation based on his passionate advocacy for women's rights, a reputation she would later exploit and weaponize against him. If Lively were to back out of the film, especially based on accusations of fat shaming, Baldoni's reputation and life's work would be left in tatters. He had no choice but to bow to Lively and Reynolds' demands. Concerns about Lively's undue influence over the film began to grow even before filming started. Ooh, now let's read the text. Producer, he cannot let her have opinions on everything. Jamie Heath, Blake? Producer, she's going to be co-directing this film. Yes. Jamie, yeah, we were talking about that a lot yesterday. Exactly. This is why everyone is starting to lose it. We've been talking about the same thing for months. Yep, it's starting to get resolved. No, it's not. This is the first time Lively openly moved to seize control of the film for Baldoni, but it would not be the last. I wish these were my problems. You know what I'm saying? Like, literally. I mean, come on, right? Okay, so filming begins as Lively builds her takeover strategy. Principal photography began for the film in early May 2023. On set, Lively continued to maintain what later appeared to be a facade of a close, caring relationship with Baldoni, even as she continued to make escalating demands for creative control. I need water. So, by the time production began, Lively and Baldoni had worked closely together for months, and Lively expressed warm gratitude for her collaboration with Baldoni on the eve of filming. Let's make this bigger. This note means so much to me. I'm excited to start tomorrow, but it's only one piece of the journey. We started months ago, and I'm grateful for all we've built so far. Thank you for caring so much and for putting every bit of you into showing it. You have given so much of your time to fight for great, and that hasn't gone unappreciated or unseen for a moment. Let's do this ish. Oh my God, they're so corny. Y'all, I cannot write. Oh my God. Hello, Angel. I hope you're doing okay in the midst of all you're going through right now. I hope your husband's okay, and I hope all is, okay as it can be. Throughout the first filming period, Lively continued to share her open and unguarded thoughts on life and her character. She talked about wardrobe choices to make her character much sexier. We'll show you both ways, but Beanie is much sexier. It's a look. Feels TV without. especially with a crop top in the snow. It justifies the rest of the skin. And also, as a girl, I would check out walking down the street because it washes the effort off the rest of the look. Lively continued to express her warm appreciation and respect for Baldoni as filming continued, even as acknowledged she could be difficult and critical of others, using the kind of language she herself would have alleged to be inappropriate. Justin, I'm not going to tell you that you were amazing because you tease. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. I'm not going to tell you that you were amazing because you tease me for being so sentimental, but you were amazing today, okay? Thank you. I do appreciate it. I'm a ball buster, but it means a lot to me, okay? I care like a great deal and totally always want to deliver, okay? You were terrific, okay? I'm proud of everything we did today. But really, honestly, every day. Justin loved that comment. Thank you. Lively's intimate comfort with Baldoni continued as filming progressed. In June of 2023, after the alleged harassment and uncomfortable situations allegedly occurred, she even invited Baldoni to her trailer to rehearse while pumping breast milk. I'm just pumping in my trailer if you want to work out our lines. Lively was so close and comfortable with Baldoni that she freely breastfed in front of him during meetings. She took photos of him holding and soothing her crying baby in her penthouse. They laughed deliriously during late night writing sessions. All of these events took place after the alleged harassment. Lively's accusations seemed to come out of the blue. She even knew his tea order. Okay, they don't put it there. Okay. En route to you, can I get you anything? No, all good. Thank you, though. I'm getting you a hot matcha. Do you know what Brandon likes? Lively herself set the tone for personal discussions on set, including what language was acceptable. For example, on one occasion while filming a restaurant scene, Lively sat on the floor in painfully expensive shoes while discussing with a group of male cast and crew how sexy her shoes were. Lively had no issue using the word sexy herself, but apparently took note both times Baldoni said the word in her presence. Hold on. I mean, they are just bopping around. Looks so cute. Though she was loose and relaxed in her speech on set, she was increasingly stringent in the demands she imposed on the production. She rewrote her own dialogue constantly and took it upon herself to make unilateral changes to other characters' lines, effectively rewriting the script day by day. This pattern of domineering interference caused unending interruptions to the production process, leading to entirely unnecessary stress, chaos, and delays. It is well documented on film footage how frequently she requested changes, and how at every turn Baldoni took her thoughts and out of fear of repercussions from Lively and her allies, he consistently tried to accommodate them. During labor strikes, Lively moves to seize absolute power. On May 2nd, 2023, the Writers Guild of America, WGA, went on strike. Production on the film halted temporarily on June 14th, 2023, due to WGA picketing. The next day, the production was notified that the WGA had not agreed to picket their set, allowing production to continue. But Lively was already gone and refused to return to the production. Immediately, Wayfarer reworked the shooting schedule at great expense to film the scenes with the younger versions of the characters instead of footage requiring Lively. On June 27, 2023, production shut down entirely for the pendency of the strike. The SAG-AFTRA strike soon followed, beginning on July 14, 2023. To make the most of the time during the strike, Baldoni began editing the footage that had been captured to date, starting the director's process of turning footage into film. Lively expressed excitement over returning to shoot in the fall in New York, making no mention of any discomfort or harassment that would be brought up only later after months of being apart, on the day the strikes ended. Both before and during the strikes, Lively's eager involvement in the production took on a more insistent and manipulative tone as she asked for access to the dailies and early cuts of the scenes, both inappropriate and unorthodox requests. Hey, would you like totally mind giving me access to the dailies? And I'm curious, like, which takes you liked of the scenes you showed blank? My manager blank flew out to visit set and leaves tomorrow AM. He heard all about it from Warren, and I'd love to show him. I appreciate you may be too slammed right now to make this happen, but like maybe someone else can facilitate. Like, totally, thanks so much. Then, hey, I hope you and your family are well. Look, so I watched the select you sent, so great. I was so happy and energized. Such solid work from everyone on the on and off camera. It was really cool to see. We were working so quickly, there was never time to look back. So it was nice to revisit from an audience perspective. Please let me know who to reach out to get to access the full galley of dailies. I'm so looking forward to seeing all we have in the can. And of course, any scenes you cut together, I'd love to see. Hope you're having a good summer and hopefully a good edit. Will your assembly be done soon? Let's hold on for a second. Let me just catch up here. And yeah, I'm kind of going into my voices here, everybody. So, this is just what I'm channeling for this one, right? It just kind of depends, right? On where we're at that day in that moment. So this is where we're at. Minty says, this seems to be embarrassing to all parties. I'm right there with you. This is hardcore cringe, right? I mean, hardcore cringe, okay? Okay, so let's keep going. Here we go. Let me get a sip of my drink. Wayfarer Baldoni and another producer on the film strategized about how to respond to Lively, which became common practice so as not to trigger backlash from Lively. The text exchange below demonstrates adamant objections to giving Lively the dailies. Not only was it inappropriate overreach, but there was a very real concern that a simple ask, such as rewriting a couple of scenes, would turn into a complete takeover, rewriting the script. They rightfully feared that giving her the dailies could turn into her demanding to edit the whole movie, which is exactly what ultimately happened. Okay. Justin's text. Hey, would you mind giving me access to dailies? And I'm curious which takes you liked of the scenes you showed Warren. My manager blank. Okay, he's just sending her then the picture. Producer. I'd say no, but check her contract first. Jamie, I was waiting for Blank to respond first. It's an absolute no for me as well, respectfully. Not sure best way to respond, being how delicate it is. Producer, I think you can either not respond. I think you can either not respond until tomorrow. So they're literally walking on eggshells with all her stuff. And then, or you can say you need to talk to the team or just say, no, you're not comfortable with it. Maybe we can let this be a Sony decision and you can respond with that for now. Justin, thank you. Spoke to Blink too. I think I'm just going to say yes and send her a playlist of a bunch of good takes from different scenes that last for 3 or 4 days. Blank said no. We all said no, and you're going to send? No, she liked the idea of a playlist. No access to all dailies. I wasn't clear in the text. Okay, copy. I mean, yeah, okay, copy makes sense. Basically, send her a playlist of what I showed her agent. And then if or when she responds and says, can you send me everything that's what I'll say I'm not comfortable with, that as I haven't seen everything. Blank believes that she will then start to edit the movie and tell me which takes to use if she has access to everything. Yes, I agree with that. Also, this is exactly how the writing process started. She asked if it was okay if she could take a pass at some dialogue tweaks on the rooftop scenes. Just talked to Blake. She's in very good spirits and seems happy about this. Very nice conversation. Good, great to hear. After consulting internally as how to respond, Baldoni politely pushed back, explaining that it was much too early in the editing process to share much footage. Okay, here we go. Oh, this should be good. Hey, so look, I'm sorry for the slow response. Yeah, the family's great. Brutal being away for so long. Happy we are finally together. Okay, trust that. Look, lots happening over here, babe. All good things overall. Had to hire new editors who I adore. They are going through everything now. I'm so happy you felt, like energized by what you saw. Your performance, it's really beautiful. Stunning, actually. So, yeah, about those dailies. Look, obviously, I want your input. I mean, that's why I sent the 5-hour playlist, right? But at this point, it's just too early for me to share all those dailies. I start my cut like in early August, given the new editors and still going through the rest myself. Also, figuring out our shooting plan is I have to cut and combine and find ways to scale down for the budget. Once I am physically, like me, there in the edit and have touched the scenes myself, I'd love to share with you. I hope you enjoy this time off with your family. Talk soon. Okay, hold on, y'all. Luke, honey, where are you? They're under the recliner. Okay, they're not stuck. I mean, my goodness. Give me a heart attack. Okay. At that point, Lively reluctantly played nominal lip service to the notion. Luke, Luke. There. Anyways, at that point, Lively reluctantly played nominal lip service to the notion that Baldoni, the film's director, was entitled to the time and space needed for her directorial cut, but continued to push. Look, I don't want to infringe on your time with your cut, of course, right? Don't feel the need to send me cutscenes. I was just excited to see. Read the dailies. None of the producers have had access to the dailies. It's just you. Baldoni shared limited scenes with Lively, feeling uncomfortable all the while. Yet he already knew that he had to bow to Lively's demands in order to get out the film and its powerful message. Finally, he put his foot down, sending Lively one final scene and then telling her he would not be sending any more cuts until he has finished his editorial process. Sorry, back to meetings. All good. Love the excitement, and I'm excited to show you when it's time's right. No, not just me. Blank and Jamie have access to dailies, but not assemblies or cuts. He's given her just a little bit of information. Happy birthday, Blake. Oh my goodness. Look, coincidentally is the last day of my edit as we are closing the room until we shoot again. It's been wildly successful. I'm so happy. You are so fantastic in the film. Oh my God, I'm dying over here. I'm sending you over one of my favorite sections, okay? I won't be posting or sending anything to anyone after this, but I'm excited to show you more in person when we come back. Please watch before Sunday as all Pix accounts get shut down on Monday until we are back up. Can't wait to hear what you think. Have an amazing day. The WGA strike ended on September 27th, 2023, and the SAG-AFTRA strike ended on November 9th, 2023. Months before, Baldoni had made Lively's representative aware that they would continue pre-production in order to hit the ground running when the strikes end. But Lively and her lawyers have been busy devising other plans during the strike. The same day that the SAG-AFTRA strike ended, Baldoni, the studios, and producers were eager to resume production. Instead, they were met with an email from Lively's lawyer who sent Wayfarer an unsettling and unexpected 17-point list of non-negotiable conditions that must be met before Lively would return to work. This stunning list was drafted for the apparent purpose of insinuating or outright claiming that Baldoni, Heath, and others had engaged in inappropriate conduct during filming. Nothing could be further from the truth. Oh, I can't. Oh, this one's going to be good, y'all. Okay, hold on one second before we get into it. This is going to be good, y'all. Okay, let me get back over here. Okay, so Wayfarer, Lively and Insulas Confidential. Dear blank Wayfarer team. So here we go. This is from our attorneys. With the tentative resolution of the SAG-AFTRA strike, we are writing to address how to handle our return to set of It Ends With Us, the film. It is no surprise to the film's producers that the experience of shooting the film has been deeply concerning on many levels. Pardon me. The complaints of our client and others have been repeatedly conveyed and well documented throughout pre-production and photography. While we reserve all legal rights, at this stage our client is willing to forgo a more formal HR process in favor of everyone returning to work and finishing the film, as long as the set is safe moving forward. In order for our client to feel safe returning to production, hold on. Boys, Luke, 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 hush. I mean, they have this toy that they are Luke is dying because Bo has this toy. I mean, this was going on the whole time we've been on here. Okay. So, and if you take it away, they just go get another one. Okay, so in order for our client to feel safe returning to production, we are attaching a list of protections that would need to be guaranteed and observed by the film's producers. If the production is unwilling to accept or uphold these protections, our client is prepared to pursue her full legal rights and remedies. This letter is not intended to constitute a full statement of all facts and circumstances relating to this matter. It is not intended to be, nor should it be construed as, a waiver, release, or relinquishment of any of our client's rights or remedies, legal or equitable, all of which are hereby expressly reserved. Hold on. Blank Lively's counsel, Okay, well, hold on. Okay, so we'll get to it. Both Wayfair and Sony attempted to revise the document to make it factually accurate, being that their representation of set culture was inaccurate, and sent comments through Wayfair's attorney, who incorporated Sony's notes. But Lively's counsel response made it clear that the list was not open for negotiation. So, Wayfair team, the list we provided was not intended as a starting point for negotiation. Rather, it is a set of protections that need to be in place in order for our client to return to work. Please let us know as soon as possible whether Wayfair will agree to accept all of the protections included in our original communication, including without limitation 11 and 12, with the following additional clarifications. Number 14, in addition to the stunt double, Wayfair to engage BL approved, so Blake Lively approved body doubles for both characters for all simulated S scenes. 15. This requirement applies to any future filming as well as to any footage that has already been shot. We can limit this requirement to scenes involving nudity, partial nudity, and or simulated S. So do we think that this was, is this we're hearing directly from Ryan, do we think? Or do we think, like, what do we think? Wait, Shannon says, hold on. Shannon says Justin Sawyer is making a website with every text, pictures, and other evidence for the public. Oh my gosh, I love it. Matt says, Paul, they don't give the death cry like someone is hurt. Ignore it. We don't mind. I know. I appreciate it. Okay, so let's keep going. I want to see that. I want to see the thing you're talking about. That's gonna be good. Okay. It was clear that Wayfair would have to sign the document as is, despite the falsity of its insinuations. The alternative was to lose millions of dollars, cost hundreds of people their jobs after they'd been out of work for months, and destroy their relationship with Sony. Nonetheless, the demands themselves were agreeable. Indeed, some were already in place. To illustrate the distorted and downright fictional basis for the 17-point list of demands, each of them is addressed in term below. Point 1, intimacy coordinator. Y'all, this is what is going on in Hollywood, okay? This is, I mean, I cannot imagine, again, this is alleged, we don't know if it's true, but just imagine this right here, the control and power that these people have when they get into a movie and you're in the middle of it and you want to just stop everything. I mean, this has gone on, like, you know, other actors and actresses are known for doing stuff like this because they know they can. Everything is so on the line, so they can just hijack something and be like, well, I want this, right? What are they going to do? Okay, let me get back to it. Okay. So Intimacy coordinator. Lively demanded that an intimacy coordinator must be present at all times when Lively was on set. In fact, an intimacy coordinator had already been engaged during the first half of the production, so Wayfarer took no issue with his request itself, despite both Lively and her attorney knowingly insinuating there was not one. On or about March 20th, 2023, nearly 2 months before filming began, Baldoni met with the intimacy coordinator in early of April 2023. More than 6 weeks before production commenced, she was engaged. Lively was aware, as Baldoni had informed her in writing. On or about April 16th, 2023, Lively's attorney was also aware, as documented in May 8th, 2023 emails between her and Wayfarer's attorney, within which Wayfarer provides her the intimacy coordinator approved nudity rider, followed by the written confirmation of said approval. Pardon me. I hope you had a great weekend. Attaching here Blank's nudity rider for your review that has been approved by SAG Intimacy Coordinator. Apologies for the rush job, but please note we need this signed by tomorrow. Reserving customary rights. I look forward to hearing from you shortly. Kind regards. Do you have written approval from the Intimacy Coordinator for the exhibit that you can share? Confirmation for Blank attached here. Let me know if you need anything else. Number 80. Although the presence of an intimacy coordinator is not a Screen Actor Guild's rule, but rather a recommendation, Baldoni was eager to engage one from the start to ensure talent, himself included, felt safe during intimate scenes. But it was also important to him that the intimacy coordinator be a woman to help craft scenes that would speak to the mostly female audience of the book, be written for the female gaze. A fact Lively later mocked in both her complaint and CRD complaint. 81. Given both Lively and Reynolds' firsthand knowledge of these facts, Lively's insistence in her November 9th, 2023 return to production demands on the constant presence of an intimacy coordinator was baffling. However, because Wayfarer had already engaged an intimacy coordinator and had no issue with the request, and given the request came with the threat that Lively would not come back to work after months of filming and planning, Wayfarer acquiesced. I hope I said that right. This acquisition, given with the written caveat, there we go. Everyone take a shot. We got the first one. We're now looking for Portal and whatever else we do. So, given the written caveat that Wayfarer disagreed with the characterizations, was later used by Lively to falsely suggest an acknowledgement that there had not been an intimacy coordinator at all. Okay. Point 2. Limiting review of intimate scene footage to those with essential business reasons. Given that this was already standard practice in the film industry and in practice on the film set, Wayfarer readily agreed to this demand, though without any reason to believe that the demand was made in response to any inappropriate conduct, despite having filmed for over a month and despite having been provided a nudity rider and the opportunity to negotiate, finalize, and sign. Lively had never asked for a closed set. However, production had always adhered to this and had no problem agreeing to this demand. For clarity, no intimacy scenes were even shot prior to November 9th. Return to production demands, therefore, under no circumstances did Lively shoot intimate scenes without a nudity rider, as suggested in her complaint, and production did not violate the SAG-AFTRA rules. The one simulated nude scenes filmed prior to the strike break and the November 9th return to production demands was a scene that Lively wrote. I mean, my gosh. Knew of in advance and directed the action for, as she never requested a nudity rider or intimacy coordinator for that scene. This demand, as written, suggests nude or intimate scenes were filmed with non-essential personnel present. Later in her complaint, Lively alleges that during a scene, the birthing scene, she was mostly nude with her legs spread wide in stirrups and only a small piece of fabric covering her genitalia, and that there were non-essential persons present. This allegation is knowingly false. To begin with, to describe Lively as mostly nude and naked from below the chest down is dishonest. Lively was wearing black briefs and a pregnancy suit that covered her midsection, and her top was covered by a hospital gown. Her legal complaint deliberately suggests she was wearing a small piece of nude fabric glued around her genitalia, by stating this is generally what female actors use to provide some minimal privacy without disturbing the shot, leaving the reader to believe Lively was only wearing this small fabric. Lively was aware of this birthing scene as she was heavily involved in writing, rather rewriting, the script and gave creative input for this specific scene, even against the director's creative vision. So she rewrites the script and redoes everything and then comes back and complains about it. You know what I'm saying? About everything. It's, I don't know what to say. Hold on one second. Okay, where'd it go? Where'd it go? Here we go. Okay. 84. Moreover, film footage clearly demonstrates that the set was not chaotic, as she alleges, and only essential individuals, example given film crew talent, were present for the scene and doing their jobs. Importantly, Lively knowingly and falsely alleges that the film's financier was present during these scenes and insinuates he was watching her nude, which he had no desire to do. He was not even on the set during the filming of that scene. He arrived later, merely stopping by for a brief moment amid his busy business schedule, and was present during the filming of a scene. Now, in the little things here, it just does like a citation for 13. Then 14, if Lively is referring to her character being mostly nude, an example, her pregnancy suit was exposed, her statement is misleading and still false. The only nude body part exposed were her legs. And then there's another citation. Okay, in which Lively's character spoke with a female OBGYN, a scene in which she was fully clothed. C. Point 3. No spontaneous improvisation of scenes involving physical touching, simulated S or nudity, which must be choreographed with intimacy coordinator. Contrary to Lively's knowingly false claims, it was Lively who refused to meet with the intimacy coordinator to plan out their scenes, putting Baldoni in the awkward position of meeting alone with the intimacy coordinator and later relaying sex scene suggestions and plans to Lively in the intimacy coordinator's absence. These meetings often took place at Lively's insistence in the couple's home, and often while Lively's husband was present. Oh, they knew what they were. If this is true, then her and Ryan knew what they were doing. They were completely setting this part up right here. They did this was intentional. This was intentional. Lively's method of work was unconventional and uncomfortable for Baldoni. To suggest Baldoni was the one who created the scenario is knowingly false. Then we're going to look at the text. Just hired intimacy coordinator who I love. Will you set up to meet FaceTime with her next week for intro? Blake, I feel so good. I can meet her when we start. Thank you, though. Just FYI. Just wanted to tell you about this. Seems she doesn't want to meet intimacy coordinator until we start, which may mess up the workflow, but I can still meet with her, of course. Female producer. That's fine if she doesn't want to meet her now. You'll just have to walk her through what you and Blank are thinking. I mean, yeah, yeah. As a result, many S scenes were not written with simultaneous collaboration and input from both Lively and the intimacy coordinator, as Baldoni had long intended. The female gaze that Lively distorted in her CRD complaint and on information and belief circulated to the New York Times for its publication weeks before filing her complaint with the court. In the end, Lively rejected all of the intimacy coordinator's proposals to rewrite the scenes herself. More egregiously, I don't know how to say that word. Help me out here, everybody. Lively later used these circumstances, created entirely by her, to accuse Baldoni of insisting Lively do uncomfortable or gratuitous scenes that were in fact proposed by the intimacy coordinator and by all accounts very typical ask of any actor performing simulated S scenes. This is well documented in handwritten notes Baldoni took during meetings with the intimacy coordinator and later read to Lively. Lively, in her recent allegations, misrepresented these ideas as personal, despite the fact that they were workshopping scenes for their characters. Lively's inability to discern the basic premise of the divide between collaborating on a film and personal interactions with her co-star and director is woven throughout her claims of S harassment. In support of what Lively positioned as the impetus for these demands, she alleges Baldoni personally added graphic content, including a scene in which M's Lively was to climax on camera. This is false. During a creative meeting which Lively requested to take place in her home, Baldoni read to her his notes from the intimacy coordinator, including a suggestion that Lively's character climax during the scene, similar to the book. Lively remarked, "Oh no, I'm too old for that," and Baldoni offered another suggestion instead, also from his notes from the meeting with the intimacy coordinator. Baldoni then moved on. Okay, let's take a pause for a second. So, I mean, oh, Helen Style says, egregiously. Thank you, Style. Um, so they're having me. There is Ryan and Blake coming over to the house to go over this weird stuff. He's telling her what this intimacy person's telling them to do, and then she's whatever. I mean, do we ever know that something like this existed? Which, I mean, it makes sense, right? But that's another thing that's like interesting with some of these cases where you learn about these worlds that you don't know a lot about. So like hearing that this is the way that this works, I'm like, there's somebody out there with a job. They coordinate intimacy on a movie. Now, again, I can see the reasonings why for this very thing that's going on right here, right? It's like two people who don't know each other are coming together. You want to make sure everybody's safe, whatever. So they're going to sit here and say, well, this is how this goes, and blah, 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 blah. I mean, whatever. It sounds like a bunch of CYA. But Brenda says, why does she take the part in the first place? I don't know. I mean, that's a very good question, right? It's like, you know, hold on, wait. Carly says, hold on. Apparently, they don't. Hold on. They don't choreograph the actual scene. It's more just being there for the consenting and comfortability. Okay, that makes sense. You will work my life no more. I do. Yeah, you know what? I've thought about starting back up, like doing like background stuff. Um, but I just am like, see, here in North Carolina, it's a right to work state. So background actors and people like that, it's basically like minimum wage that you get paid. And I mean, if you've done CYA as cover your butt, but the different word for butt. So like, make sure you don't get in trouble or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Um, a voice actor, I've never thought, I've never thought about doing that. Yeah, I feel bad for the author too. Yeah, I used to when I was younger. I did background stuff. I was in Patch Adams. What are some things like notable things? A Waffle House commercial. That was my claim to fame. So Patch Adams, a Waffle House commercial, Having Our Say, which is a TV series. I had a lot of like people actually recognized me in that one. Um, Having Our Say, Last Dance with Mary Jane, which had Dominique Swain in it. And actually reading this is funny because there's a scene where they were supposed to be filming her and like she had done like, hooked up with somebody, whatever. She was gonna be topless. And that's what they did. They closed the set down. And it's like very private. And this was just to show somebody, topless. Um and I mean, I know all movie sets are different. I mean, I've only been in a few, right? So it's like, but I mean, that part I recognize from like, yeah, it was like no at background extras, only people who had to be there, whatever were there kind of a thing. And so that one, Dominique Swain was the lead actress. Let me look her up. Hold on. What's that the witches movie from my generation of the three girls? Matt, you know what I'm talking about? The three girls, the witches from the 90s. Huh? No, it was like you know what I'm talking about? Not Eastwick, they were younger. No, it was a white girl, a black girl, and then another girl, and it was like one of the girls looked like a vampire. It was like a for real movie, and they did a lifting scene, and The Craft, thank you, The Craft, thank you. That's what I was looking for. The Craft. Let me look up her name real quick, the actress. Rachel True. Okay, so let me find her again. Okay, so the two actresses that I remember from this, well, there's a guy from Party of Five. I can't remember his name, but Rachel was there and Dominic Swain, and they were like the main actresses in this movie. So when there's a big party scene, I don't even think this film ended up getting put out there, but Dominique, there was something to where she wanted to talk to me or whatever. And it was just like, there's a vibe there or something. I don't know. But she was super nice. I remember this is like 20 years ago, y'all. The girl from The Craft was so rude. Oh my God. She just was like, so rude to everybody. But Dominique was like super nice to everybody. If you know Dominique Swain's claim to fame to me was, what's that movie called? Lolita. Lolita. Um, was Lolita. Now, Patch Adams, Monica Potter was insanely rude. Robin Williams, nicest human being you'll ever meet in your life. I had a couple of scenes where I like literally was gonna walk right past him. And so like one thing, like we're waiting for the camera to go whatever, like he was like standing in front of me and it gives me goosebumps. He turned around, like made some jokes about the book I was carrying. Cause if you've seen Patch Adams, it's like 70s. They shot it here in Chapel Hill and it was like dead of summer, but we had like dressed like with these 70s clothes, whatever. And uh he would come to the holding area where the extras were, like on his free time, and like not do stand up, but like make us laugh and entertain us, kind of a thing. And he would just ride his bike around Chapel Hill and like stop in restaurants for lunch and like take people to want to take pictures. And it was wild. I mean, he just acted like a regular dude. Um, but it was, it was wild. But like Monica Potter, oh, she was like super rude, super duper rude. I think those are the only ones I did. Having Our Say, which that one was fun. I can't remember the actresses in that. Patch Adams, Waffle House, Last Dance with Mary Jane. I think that was it. I can't remember anything else that stands out. You know what I'm saying? I think I would, right? Um, but yes, I wouldn't mind going back and doing that. But these stuff like if any of y'all who do acting and whatnot or anything like that, yeah, it's long days. It's like get here super early in the morning. Um, it's it is what it is. So yeah, I've never thought about doing voice acting. I don't even know how to do that. It would be fun to do though. It's fun doing this right here. Okay, I'm gonna go back and keep reading now. Oh, I would love to have met Kevin Bacon. He would have been so cool. Oh, I did film also this TV show for it was like a preppy schoolhouse thing. I can't remember the name of it, but it was like this boarding school. It was a pilot. I don't even know if it made it to anything. I don't remember what it was. Okay, here we go. Lively's later complaint sheds light on what this point was alluding to in this demand, which at the time was baffling, and upon review of the filmed evidence is unequivocally based on a lie. Production was filming a romance montage of Lively and Riley on their date. One of the producers played music. What is he doing? The dogs are now, we've gone from fun play to we're all tired of each other over there. Oliver is trying to kill all his brothers. Okay. One of the producers played music to set the mood so the characters could slow dance. Lively, consistently unable to take direction, insisted she really liked the idea of the characters constantly talking, because as she described, her and her husband like to keep talking and talking and talking. Baldoni, her director and the film's assistant director, who was directing the scene, disagreed. In an attempt to encourage her to take his direction, Baldoni offered up that he and his wife often just look into each other's eyes silently, to which she responded, like sociopaths, and laughed. Baldoni laughed and shook it off, while Lively once again started talking about how she and her husband can't not talk. I can 100% imagine this for the both of them at this point, right? I think that's cute, and complimented the couple, to which Lively responded, I think it's more than cute. Lively continued arguing and tried to direct him for the scene, while they were supposed to be in character filming the scene. At some point, Heath and another producer, irritated, called Baldoni aside to express they can't capture the intended shot because Lively wouldn't stop talking. He was instructed to somehow get her to stop. While there was a brief verbal exchange, Baldoni, heeding the instruction of their assistant director and producers, continued to try to bring them back into character. As they are acting in this montage scene, Lively continued to break character and speak as herself rather than as Lily, which was extremely confusing for Baldoni, who was trying to balance directing the scene within his artistic vision while also acting in character while filming and trying to get Lively to do the same. Lively apologized for the smell of her spray tan and body makeup. Baldoni responded, "It smells good," and continued acting, slow dancing as he believed his character would with his partner, which requires some amount of physical touching. Lively took them out of character again and began to joke about Baldoni's nose, which he laughed off and joked in turn, even as Lively joked that she should get plastic surgery. Lively incorrectly alleges that this scene was filmed without sound. Baldoni was wearing a microphone, and the entire exchange is captured on camera. Any suggestion that this scene was filmed in any manner other than pure professionalism by Baldoni is unequivocally countered with actual evidence. Her allegation of harassment is a documented and knowingly fabricated lie. Moreover, it was Lively who engaged in the unchoreographed kissing scenes. One scene, again captured on camera, exhibits Lively pulling Baldoni in to kiss her. Okay, now time out right here. I saw a clip going around on social media today where she was in a press conference with like two other people, and the interviewer was saying something about like these allegations, and I forget what she said, but like Blake tried to, how do you say it? Basically said that this didn't happen, this thing about her pulling her in, and the actress, I can't think of her name, sitting next to her said, "Actually, Blake, I saw it on Instagram today." And Blake kind of falls all over herself a little bit, and then whatever it was, TikTok, the reel, whatever, switches to the scene, and clear as day, Blake is pulling him. It's so like without any sound to it. She's pulling him in and doing the whole thing that she just said. And I was like, oh, she ripped that woman's head off and the camera's turned off. She called her out. It was just like, it's on camera, girl. Like, that's the thing. Like, the stuff that's they're coming up with, there is like definitely evidence to refute it. I can't believe she's trying to lie about that because it's very like there's evidence for it, right? Okay, here we go. In one take, she pulled Baldoni in and kissed him once, and another twice, and the number of kisses entirely initiated by Lively changed at her whim. Baldoni is a professional actor who, among other roles, played the lead's love interest in television's Jane the Virgin for 5 years, 100 episodes, is like most actors, accustomed to rehearsing or filming scenes multiple times, often with variations, without needing permission while in character. While Lively now takes issue with any innocuous improvisation Baldoni, as Riley, may have allegedly initiated while in character, Baldoni treated their relationship on camera as professional, each playing their part, each doing their job. If no one was supposed to improvise, Baldoni would have no way of knowing based on Lively's own actions. Lively demonstrated again and again that this was a normal and acceptable part of filming romantic scenes. Lively also complains that there was inappropriate improvised kissing during the first period of filming before the strike break. But in fact, the only two scenes filmed, and then pause, it says this in the little notes, Lively alleges Baldoni inappropriately commented on her physical appearance. It was the other way around. During the initial filming period were both scenes that included kisses as written in the script. These kissing scenes were not improvised. Point 4. No physical touching of Lively, including hugging or comments on her physical appearance except in connection with the character and or scene work, not as to Lively personally. Can you imagine? Can you, y'all? To be clear, none of the named parties touched Lively when not in character, especially not in the manner suggested. Sounds like they didn't even want to talk to her. While Baldoni and Wayfarer clearly agreed that co-workers should respect physical space, Lively's constant confusion of references to her character as played by Lively, as opposed to Lively herself, became problematic and interfered with production. This was caused in large part by Lively's persistent desire to direct and inability to accept direction. For example, Her allegation that Baldoni inappropriately called her sexy was in fact a reference to a scene where everyone was wearing onesies, but Lively was covering her onesie with a big coat. Baldoni, her director, asked that she take off the big coat so that her onesie would be visible in the scene. Baldoni said it will be hot, as it was 90 degrees in the small bar with no air conditioning. Lively mischaracterizes this in her complaint as Baldoni referring to her personally as hot, using the slang meaning of the term. Given that Lively herself had earlier expressed to him that she wanted her character's wardrobe to be sexier, Baldoni encouraged her to accept direction by saying, "It's sexy," meaning that without the big coat, the wardrobe was sexier, as Lively had said she wanted it to be. Lively took this personally. She was unable to take the direction, later alleging his behavior was inappropriate regarding her self-chosen wardrobe. Stating, "That's not what I'm going for," Baldoni recognized that she may have taken his direction personally and appeared offended. Apologized more than once, his statements were immediately followed by his gesture that she had something in her teeth, and a request for someone to get on set to get her a toothpick. This exchange, all of which is captured on camera, demonstrates how ludicrous and deliberately malicious Lively's allegations are. I mean, y'all, this is a stretch, okay? I mean, this is a stretch. Oh my gosh. This is so wild, y'all. Ain't no one gonna hire her again. Okay. Maybe not even Ryan. Okay. If this stuff proves true, it's like Amber Heard. Like, literally, I mean, this is like nightmare material. Can you imagine working with somebody like this? Imagine what you would go through. Okay. Wait, let me get some liquid going. Well, on the one hand, Lively accuses Baldoni of making comments about her appearance. On the other, she made derogatory comments about Baldoni's appearance, telling him he should undergo rhinoplasty, a nose job, something Baldoni has publicly expressed insecurities about and has discussed on an episode of his podcast, Man Enough, exploring the topic of body dysmorphia. Lively's comment about Baldoni's nose is also captured on camera. Baldoni, rather than write down a list of grievances against Lively, brushed it off and moved on with the scene. Baldoni's sincere dedication to what he has repeatedly described as holding himself accountable as a man was being used against him, just as Lively is attempting to do now. To characterize his sensitivity to her personal reaction to his creative direction, which was not only innocuous but well intended, is malicious. To then share this knowingly false characterization with the New York Times for publication months before filing any formal complaint, then waiting nearly 2 weeks to file the complaint with his court, and thus depriving him the opportunity to engage in discovery before the damage is done, is inexcusable. 97. Despite the flawed factual premise underlying Lively's demand, in the face of Lively's refusal to return to work, Wayfarer agreed to this condition. Point 5. No discussion of personal experiences with S or nudity, including as it relates to conduct with spouses or others. When Baldoni was faced with this demand, he was utterly confused. By the time Lively and Baldoni were developing their intimate scenes together, they had developed a friendly relationship and were communicating often over text. Lively felt comfortable expressing herself and appeared to do so freely. She took photos of Baldoni holding and comforting her newborn in her home. Baldoni filmed her uncontrollably laughing with him as they rehearsed late into the evening, often delirious with exhaustion. Nothing about their interactions suggested Lively was uncomfortable around Baldoni. Though confused by this demand and denied the opportunity to revise the return to production demands to make them factually accurate and less misleading, Wayfarer had no choice but to sign the document and did so knowing no such instances had occurred. Later, Lively references in her complaint instances that were shockingly mischaracterized and in no way appropriate or unprofessional. For example, in response to a proposal from the intimacy coordinator that Baldoni's character Riley not climax after he satisfied Lively remarked, "I'd be mortified if that happened to me," personalizing the character's S act. Baldoni, following Lively's lead and what he understood to be an attempt to connect with and develop their characters, remarked that those have been some of the most beautiful moments between himself and his wife. They then moved on. In another instance, as Lively and Baldoni were developing their scenes, Lively said, "I don't want it to look like corn," and then offered up that she had never seen corn in her life, a very personal fact. Baldoni complimented her and said, "That's wonderful, because unfortunately, he was first exposed to it when he was 10 years old and struggled with a corn addiction for a period of his life. He writes openly about this in both books, Boys Will Be Human, written for young boys, and Man Enough, written for man. Addressing pornography is a societal problem. Anyone who knows or has done any research on Baldoni would have knowledge of this, and it can in no way be characterized as inappropriate, especially after opening the door to discussion by disclosing something highly personal. At every turn, Baldoni was entrapped. Moreover, Heath, who had nothing to do with this exchange, has never had a corn addiction or even mentioned corn in Lively's presence, was falsely and knowingly lumped into this accusation." I mean, again, y'all, every one of these, all of them are just absolutely just extra and unsufferable. I'm just like, come on. It's just crazy. Okay, here we go. Lively continued with an outrageous and knowingly false suggestion that she was showing pornography or naked images of Heath's wife on set. What? Okay, wait. Lively that she was showing. Okay, that she was shown. Okay, I was like, why is she saying that she herself is showing these? Okay. This allegation knowingly and maliciously represents an instance when, in connection with the birthing scene, Heath, at the director's request, attempted to show Lively a video that demonstrated the director's vision for the scene. This video, which ultimately was not shown to Lively, even though she stated she'd like to see it later as she was eating, is by all accounts beautiful. Since Lively wanted to see it later, what she saw was the first image at the start of the video, which shows Heath's wife, himself, and their baby after his wife gave birth at home, a natural birth or home birth. To characterize this image that captures such a beautiful moment with her newborn baby, shared with the consent of his wife for purposes of the film, as a naked photo or worse, corn, is deplorable. Nonetheless, Lively did not object and asked to see the video after she ate, having managed to convince the director to write and shoot the scene according to her specifications. These brief exchanges were distorted beyond recognition in the 17-point list of return to production demands that Lively served on Wayfarer. Still, without conceding that anything remotely inappropriate had happened, Wayfarer agreed to this condition so that they could resume production. Point number 6, no one to enter Lively's trailer while she was undressed. Okay, now hold on time, y'all. So what we're going to do is we're going to do point number 6, and then we're going to call it good for the evening, because I'm starting to get like, it's my bedtime. It's my bedtime. I just, let's just get through this and then we'll talk. I'm pretty flabbergasted. Okay, so no one can go into her trailer if she's undressed. The suggestion that this ever happened is illogical and categorically false. No one would or did enter Lively's trailer without knocking first and asking permission. More than once, Lively invited Baldoni, Heath, and other producers into her trailer so they could multitask, understandably balancing motherhood with her work obligations. Hold on. Regrettably, while accommodating Lively, Baldoni and Heath were led into situations that would later be characterized as harassment. Lively herself invited Baldoni to her trailer to work on lines while she pumped breast milk. Lively regularly breastfed in front of Baldoni while they had meetings. Heath was invited into her trailer for a meeting at her request while she was having makeup removed from her collarbone because she was not able to meet at another time. Her nanny, makeup artist, and assistant were present, and Lively was not topless as she claims elsewhere, but was fully covered while either nursing or pumping breast milk. In this instance, he was instructed to turn away while they spoke and respectfully did so. While they figured out a time to meet with the other producers and standing just outside the door, and as Heath pleaded with Lively to have the meeting the next morning to avoid her getting home late and losing shoot time the following day. While it is possible he inadvertently made eye contact at one point, he does not recall. Lively later mentioned he did, and it made her uncomfortable, to which he responded, "I'm so sorry. I really didn't realize." Lively responded, "I know you weren't trying to cop a look," and they moved on. Lively's suggestion that not one but two professional and conscientious men conscientious men barged into her trailer several times or attempted to enter or pressured her to allow them to enter offends not only their long-established integrity, but the sanctity of their vows to their wives and their dedication to their children and families. Lively is aware that both men are incredibly supportive and respectful of motherhood, to say the least. Heath's wife is a vocal advocate for postpartum mothers. Baldoni's wife co-founded a company that designed a breastfeeding garment, a prototype that originated with his mother when he was an infant. Baldoni had gifted Lively one. While those facts would never be an excuse for barging in unannounced, it is indicative of the nature of their relationship and with relationship with and respect for women. Simply put, such allegations are categorically false that would have been wildly out of character if they were true. Okay, so we're going to pause here. Boom, boom, boom. So, yeah, y'all. What do we have to say? I, I, I don't know what to say about this. I'm not a fan of Ryan anymore at this point. Um, I just, I mean, it's like they're going. It's like, I mean, to me, I just feel like it's everything was calculated. It was like scraping back over things, and of course, at the end of the day, like with the way they're doing these, the 17 points, you see where they're sliding stuff in there that might not have happened at all, but it's like you have to sign all this or else. And I'm just like, oh, I see what they're doing. I mean, it's a total trap. I mean, it's disgusting, right? Um, this just the more and more that comes out with Hollywood. Yeah, and I mean, I was a big Ryan Reynolds fan. I used to think he was super cool. Like super duper cool. My claim to fame with Ryan Reynolds is this, and this is a work with me here on this, okay? My cousin's wife was a what do you call them? What do you call that that Allie did, Matt? A publicist or a reporter, something like for People Magazine. Okay. So you can imagine like the people or whatever she talked to. So like when they had their kids and she showed me, she's like, Ryan Reynolds texted her, congratulations, but she was like, oh my God, he's so nice. He's the nicest guy in the world. And da 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 da. Now, mind you, because of the situation, now looking back, because this is what I kept thinking of when this coming out. I was like, God, Ryan seems so nice in the movies, and and Allie was like saying, like, I mean, he reached out, like, congratulations, on the baby, and blah, 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 blah. Now this is like a while ago, right? So now this, I'm like, yeah, I just think that it's totally fake. He probably is nice to some people, but very calculated, very manipulative. You know what I mean? Like that just seems to be what's going on here from Ryan. Now Taylor was in the. We need to see what else Taylor has coming on here. Because she was in there a little bit, but she might have scathed by this one. Colorado says not to mention all the other cast members. 100%. Oh, they had Lawya B says their plantation one was also a choice. They had a wedding at the plantation. At a plantation. Matt, where are the where's the boys? Will you bring me one to show? To say hello. Is it going to be Bo or is it going to be Luke? Bring me the Rugrat. See, oops, you're all wrapped up. You want to say hey? Want to say hey? Y'all, you can't. Luke is busy, we'll say, asserting dominance or trying to over Jake. Luke, don't. That's the stage rat. Say hey. You can say hey. Come here. It's okay. Yeah, look at your little baby. He doesn't want to be held. See, that's you. Look. You see? Yeah. Did I disturb you? You're all grungy. Has your brother been chewing on you? Your brother been chewing on you? See, hey, what's going on? Yeah, you've been a little rag doll. They've just been chewing up on you, haven't they? You need a bath. You do. So cute. Yes. You want to go back and play? You want to go back and play? Here, come here. You can sit here. So, to me, it just seems like, again, it just seems very calculated, very manipulative, all those things, right? And so, I've definitely now. I'm like, if they came out with another Deadpool, I don't know if I want to see it at this point, right? That's kind of like who Ryan Reynolds was to me, like was Deadpool. I mean, that's who he was, right? Now, again, with Blake, I was like, who is she? You know what I'm saying? Because it's like they keep talking about like she's some big, famous person, and I'm like, who is she? What was she in? I've never heard of her. And then people, some people inform me of some of the stuff that she had been in. I hear we're going to trade. Hey! Now this is a little tweak. Hey. This is Luke. This is the touch me not. Luke doesn't like, so Luke is one that's been barking the whole time we've been going. Luke is a little touch me not. Now he does cuddle big time. Like in the early mornings and when we sleep, he's very much wants to be cuddled up. And actually Bo is the one that Bo likes to cuddle, but he mostly will be like, I'm going to sleep at your feet or whatever. This one's like I want to be, we're right here together. Right. But then like during the daytime and stuff like that, if you like reach down to pet him, he's one of those that backs up and is like, well, we can play, but don't touch me. It's so funny. But yeah, this is Tweak. That's really what his name is. He's gone from Connor to Bo to Tweak. You driving your brothers crazy? Now he's the one with more of like the silky hair. I mean, it's a mess right now because they've been playing and dragging each other all over the place. Yeah. I don't need kisses from you. I'll just give you kisses. Yeah, such a good boy. That's a good boy. That's my little daddy or my little baby. Colorado brings up a good point. Colorado says she seems like she has a lot of trouble with boundaries. 100%. That's what's interesting with her. But she also seems like I'm almost getting this vibe of like Ryan's my husband. He wields a lot of power. I'm going to do what I want to do, but you can't do it either. You know what I'm saying? Because it does sound like in some of these instances that, she's taking things that I don't know. See, look, show him your tweak. Show me your tweak. It's hard to see with his hair. Like his hair. Let's show him your mohawk. Oh, you gonna chew me up? Show him that mohawk. Come on. See, Dad, what are you doing? That's embarrassing. There's Tweak. Look. Here, will you take? Go back and play. Good boy. Thank you, everybody. He's becoming the saver shit. Yeah, Ohio Palm Mom says he came with the receipts. 100%. 100%. Mel says, since I don't know any of them, I'm not assuming anything. Excellent point, Mel. Because that's the thing, too. Like, this right here is just his side. Now, yes, he's bringing receipts to the table. So then it's almost like, okay, well, now, I mean, is this going to trial? Like, do we know where this stands right now? Like, I mean, are we looking at another Amber Heard, Johnny Depp thing? I mean, is that where we're at? Because I don't know if my heart can handle that. Yeah, do you know who my husband is, right? Style says he has a long CVS receipt. Yeah, talking girl. Amen. Okay. I get less paperwork with a damn refi than you do at CVS. Oh, can you imagine? Oh, if they did, oh, please, yeah. Nice pull. No, I do not. What is that? Just an issue. They seem to, yeah, and Cindy brings up a good point. I think it's more of a Ryan Justin issue. They seem to be in competition. Yes, I'm getting that vibe. I'm getting that vibe too. He's not violently smart, but if she's not, it'll go to trial. Justin will lose everything if he doesn't set this straight. Yeah, Colorado's right. Colorado says that Justin's back is against the wall. He's going to lose everything. But if they go to trial, like it's not going to. Because here's the thing: if this goes to trial, and what we are hearing from Justin's side is legit, like that's what plays out in court, she's cooked. Okay, she's cooked, right? Period. End of story. If they can prove all that in court, these allegations, she's cooked. I did not know that. So listen to this, Matt. Angel's Voice ASMR says, "You must watch Deadpool. They make fun of Justin so much. It's terrible. And they kill him in front of a flower shop called Little Sage." Is this the most recent one, Angels? Because we saw the most recent one, didn't we? But I wouldn't have known the context. Yes, and SD brings up an excellent point. I'd love to hear what the rest of the cast has to say about the supposed essay and why they unfollowed Baldoni. That's what I'm talking about, okay? Because at the end of the day, what does everyone else have to say? Because a lot of this could be put to rest, not put to rest, but you know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm not saying just because one person says this or whatever, but some of these allegations they're talking about, well, just like I told you, like that interview I saw with the other actress next to Blake was like, "A girl, I saw you do that on it was on Instagram." You know what I mean? Like if everyone else starts coming forward and being like, "Oh yeah, you know, this is what happened with me," okay, then there you go. You know. Yeah, Stop Calling Me says, I think they both liked each other based on the flirty text. Ryan was not having it. Yeah, because you know what? I think so. I think there's a level of that too. Because there does seem to be like now I'm wondering, like that's the mystery to me is how involved in some of this stuff is Ryan. Like how behind the scenes is Ryan? If she's coming out talking about Ryan wrote the first scene and everybody's like, what? I feel like he has way more to do with it. So we'll see. Okay, y'all. So that is it. I'm gonna call it an evening. I'm gonna go to bed. We might even do it tomorrow night where we continue on and get through it. Thank you for suffering through another 30 pages or whatever. Yeah, Colorado says I do think Ryan got jealous 100%. 100%. Thank you, Emily. Thank you, Indy, for holding the fort down. I do appreciate it. Thank you, everybody, for sitting here and listening to me read through this and talk about it and all that. I would definitely not have been able to read this on my own. So this is major helpful. I appreciate it. This is totally fun. So that's it. If I'm going to go live tomorrow and continue on, the usual. I'll put the post up at some point tomorrow. I got to just see what all we get done and whatnot tomorrow. So that's it. Y'all stay safe, sleep well, stay warm, and we shall talk to you soon.